Hey everybody, this is Mr. Flights again. We are looking at standard assignment number 2, and I just want to help you out a little bit with this one. It's based on, or uses a very, very famous piece of music called In the Hall of the Mountain King by Edvard Grieg, and it's very short, less than 3 minutes long. To do this assignment, what you're going to do is probably you want to listen to this piece a few times to get it in your head and know what you're dealing with. That is a really good idea. So here we look at basically these are the instructions, how to enter your answers. I'm the teacher, so I don't have add submission. I have all of your submissions here at my page. But when you do, the page will reload and you will see a comment box on the right hand side. Where my arrow is now, you'll see some comment boxes. Then you're going to play this. And after each theme, now if I start it, it's going to be kind of quiet. And my computer's cranked up all the way. If you can hear that. There's the tune, very famous. That's the initial theme right there. But at the end of each theme entry, we use the comment box to describe what we heard from a listening perspective of my choice. For example, if I'm to choose casual, I might say something like, well, to be honest, it was so quiet at the beginning, I barely was even paying attention to it. Or maybe referential, you might have heard that somewhere, and you might say something like, oh, well, that reminded me of such and such movie that I saw where they used that theme in. Now, when you do referential, if you choose to do referential, you can make something up. I don't care if you make something up. I just want you to understand what the term referential means. As a critical listener, you might say something like, well, this piece stinks because it's too soft at the beginning and I'm hard of hearing, and what's the point? Or you might say something like, well, I heard the bassoon player play a wrong note, so I don't like this music. Critical is just looking for what's wrong with the music. The perceptive listener, as you read in a couple of pages back, the perceptive listener is the one that combines all of the previous types of listeners, and that's the one you want to be. So you may say something to the effect of, this piece started pianissimo, very softly, and it started at a tempo of adagio, or very slowly. You don't have to use all of the Italian terms if you don't want to, and you may say something like, it had a mysterious feel to it, the tempo was very slow, and it sped up a little bit as it was moving along. It sounded like I was hearing bassoons, that sort of thing. Perceptive, where you're really listening to the music and trying to get the most out of it. So you'll make a comment based using one of those types of listeners. And then you will keep going on. When you hear another theme, you'll comment on that theme from the point of view of one of these listeners. You need to use at least, as it says here, at least 2 from each perspective. Do you see that? Include at least 2 short descriptions from each perspective. So you need to at least have 8 total. Does that make sense? 2 casual, 2 referential, 2 critical, 2 perceptive. You will be writing these down on the right-hand side in comment boxes. When commenting as a referential, critical, or perceptive listener, please address how Grieg uses unity and variety in the piece through the use of dynamics. There are definitely louds and softs and getting louder throughout the piece. Timbre, what instruments are you hearing? That's basically what timbre means. the instruments you are hearing. Pitch. Are we starting low? Are we starting high? Are we getting higher and going lower? What is the pitch? Tempo. This is very important in this piece because the piece starts rather slowly, and as it says here, at what theme entry does the piece start getting faster? Accelerando. So the piece does get faster, and you want to, if you can, point that out when you're making the comments. Also, does this piece have any specific connotations for you? Maybe it does not, or maybe it reminds you of a cartoon or something, or a movie that you've heard. Um, so just make sure that you answer as much of these questions as possible. I hope you have a good evening.